So I'm assuming from the fact that you can see my couch in the background and the fact I've had my hair cut and I've got my face on that you work out I'm back in Bucharest because I go back to work on Monday. But it's been a lovely, lovely 7 weeks, and Chris says he's really enjoyed being fed and having a clean house. So I got back yesterday afternoon and I've cleaned the house from top to bottom. We reckon we've got a couple of weeks of building work left to get the extension finished, although obviously jobs are going to slow down in the next few weeks because, you know, Chris has got to spend half his time with me. So we just had the long summer break. So, you know, he can't be in Bulgaria all the time. So, but we think another couple of weeks and we'll get it done. All the plasterboard's up now. All the rendering's done. Davey's reclaimed his cement mixer to go back to Darren's. I've painted the long side of the house, put 3 coats of that brilliant white silicone paint on that. That stuff is not cheap, but it's really, really good. It's called Fasadna. From the Decorator brand, and it is, like I say, it's not cheap, but one big 140 lev tub will do the whole of the extension. So my job next weekend is to paint the front and the steps and everything. Chris has got all the plasterboard up. Of course, I didn't bother to go around and film any of this, and he's going to continue with the plastering over the next few days before he comes over here. And then Davey's going to start the tiling for him. Chris hates tiling. And we've got floor tiling in there, and we've got the patio to finish as well. So we did loads of building work this week. Everybody's guests went home, so we're all back to normal. And the big news was that we finally completed on next door. So I know people are interested in buying property in Bulgaria, and I'll say again, you get what you pay for. I saw a house advertised in our village this morning, and it was €56,000, and I'm not kidding, it was an absolutely beautiful, beautiful house. If I can find it again, I'll put a link up for it. It was gorgeous, really traditional, fully renovated to an incredibly high standard. It was just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. 2-bed house, 980 square metre garden. Beautiful, beautiful turnkey house. Not being advertised by anyone I know, just happened to see it in a Facebook group. But it was gorgeous, and I thought there will be, lots of Bulgarian people were commenting and saying that is a beautiful house. But obviously a lot of people outside of Bulgaria are still chasing this idea of being able to buy a house for pennies. Prices are going up in Bulgaria, and I think that's partly because of the interest that's being shown in the country, and also because we're going to the Euro in January, and they're very much pushing this narrative of, prices will explode when we go into the Euro. I'm not sure that will happen. And I think when people are asking 50-odd thousand euro for a ruin, they're clearly not going to sell that, and the prices will come back down again. But they are higher than they were. However, we're the absolute opposite end of the spectrum in what we've bought. We've paid just around £6,500 for the property next door. Now, to us, that's really worth it because we want. I've said this before. I've been looking through that fence for years, going, I wish I knew who owned that because it's really sad that it's so neglected. And now I own it, so I don't have to neglect it anymore. So it's worth it for the extra land. We both said we weren't going to do anything with the house. We've been and had a look at it, and maybe we won't, especially not for the next couple of years. We've got a lot of jobs on in our own house. But you know what? It's not that bad, but it would be a massive tens of thousands of pounds or euros investment in terms of it needs new electrics. It's got no kitchen. It's got no bathroom. The summer house has got a bathroom that's actually quite modern, the room and the plumbing, but no fitments. So we'd have to do something with that. The summer house we might do something with in the next couple of years because it'd be nice to have something for guests. But it was so overgrown and such a mess, and it was an absolute delight to actually get in there and see it properly. We asked him, who's one of our neighbours who does gardening, to trim it for us and start clearing it, because obviously Chris has been really busy, and I don't like trimming because, I'm a princess. So he went, he did 2 days work on it, and I've got 2 separate videos, one of the end of the first day's work and then the second day's work, and it is incredible. And suddenly it looks like quite a nice place, and it's tempting to do something with it. But I did say, and this will probably put me over my 10-minute limit, I would talk through, for anyone who is interested, who hasn't seen my earlier videos when I've gone through this process about buying a house in Bulgaria. If you are an EU passport holder, it's really easy. You can do what you want. If you are non-EU, i.e. American, Canadian, British, then you cannot buy a property with land. You have to set up a limited company. It's a non-trading company. Any estate agent, fixer, solicitor, notary will help you with that. It costs a couple of €100, maybe a bit more than that. I think ours was about 400, but we got ripped off. And you set up a limited non-trading company. That company buys the house and then leases it to you. So for terms of things like getting residency, when you have to prove an address, you provide an agreement that you rent the house from the company. That only takes a couple of days to set up. We set ours up the first time we visited Bulgaria, even though we didn't buy a house that time. We set the company up so we were ready. You do have to file a tax return and pay tax the first year that you've got it. Because you've traded on it, you've bought a house. After that, it's non-trading. This year for us, we will have to pay a tax return next spring because we've bought the car. The company bought the car from me as a private individual, and we've also bought the second house. So we will have to file a tax return. In terms of the house itself, usually the houses are being sold because somebody elderly has died and the heirs will leave it a year or 2 out of respect, and then they'll want it sold. They all have to go to the solicitors, to the notary with you. Please don't try and do this without a translator unless you are very fluent in Bulgarian. I took Carrie, and I will put her details up at the end again. She did all the background work. She's got all our company details and everything, so that all we had to do was just go, sit down, agree and sign some paper and hand some money over. In the terms of this one, there was some kind of covenant in the will that said that they had to prove that they had cared for the person who had lived there before and cared for the property. So another of our neighbours was there swearing out that statement when we started. And then we went in. It was really straightforward. They handed over their skizzen and details. We just sat there. The notary printed out a load of documentation that we signed. Carrie read the document to us in English so that we would understand what we were signing. And we did a bank transfer for 15,000 leva. The only problem we had was we didn't have any problems, but the lady we were selling to we were buying from, it was her and her brother. And I very clearly heard her say, well, where's the money? And Carrie said, well, it's a bank transfer. It'll take a couple of hours. And she was like, but my brother wants his money now. Anyway, there was a 10 a.m. appointment and it went through by 12. So he only had to wait till 12 for his money, his half of this 15,000. So it was really straightforward, and most house buying in Bulgaria is really straightforward like that. You just need someone like Carrie and a proper legalised notary to check that the house does belong to the person who's selling it. There's a lot of scandal going on at the moment on social media about a couple who've been selling stuff that didn't belong to them. And you just have to trust the person. We're lucky because we met Davey. We bought privately from Davey, and he is incredibly trustworthy. And we also met Carrie, who is a registered translator. If you're buying from an estate agent, you're pretty much okay, but you will have to pay usually the estate agent charges a small fee from the seller and the buyer. So the commission has to be built into that. And also don't forget that you will have to pay a tax, a government tax on the property, and the notary fees as well. So Carrie charges about 90 odd lev for the work that she did. And on top of the 15,000, we paid another 1,000 and some lev, not 1,100 or anything like that, which was the percentage tax on the property and the notary fee. So really, it took 45 minutes, and then it was our house. So we're really pleased with it, actually. And that's our big news. So you can have a look around the garden. I also got in the top because the last time I went round there, I couldn't get in the upstairs, only the downstairs. So you can have a look around the upstairs. And then I'll probably have another look around the downstairs next weekend and talk about what I think we could do with it if we decide to do anything with it. But for now, we've got more than enough building work to keep us going on our own house. This week, my friend Marta, who is a German lady who is an absolute delight, who lives in the village part-time, came to have a look at our house and to have a look through next door and to get slobbered on by the dogs. And it was really nice seeing our house through someone else's eyes, because for me, I always think, oh, it looks a bit dirty, because we're a building site. And I think that people with perfect houses probably judging us. And Martha was like, this is lovely. And she stood in next door's garden and looked at ours and went, it looks like a rich person's house, all that double glazing and paint. And it was really nice to see that somebody else could see the beauty in it rather than just seeing jobs that need doing, because it helped me look at it with fresh eyes as well. Anyway, I am back in my shiny clean apartment in Bucharest. I put my back out somehow overnight, so I've been walking around with a mop because I couldn't sit down, but I could mop. I've swept, mopped, polished, cleaned all my bathrooms, cleaned my kitchen, and now I'm going to buy some food for the week. So I'll be back there Friday night, and I'm going to do a load of painting next week. And any questions about the house buying process, do reach out. I am here to be a mine of information. And have a great week, everyone. Peace out. There you go. Right, Chris is in charge of recording the first stroke going on. That's my job for today. Oh. There you go, darling. First stroke's on.
Fantastic.
I'm covering up your splatters on this side as well as I go along. The house will be shiny and white. I think it was the video of painting the house that some bitch called the most boring thing on YouTube. So let's go for that accolade again, shall we? Boring paint. Not even an interesting colour, just white. It's nice paint, this, though. I think you render splatters over.
And a good job, my love.
Thank you, darling. I'm a good painter, although I am a bit drippy this morning and I'm dripping on all yesterday's hard work. I've also smudged it on the window. It'll need to come off.
I was expecting that.
It's the drippiness.
I'll go and wipe that wet paint off.
Thank you, dear. You are a good husband. I'm going to get my hair cut. You see that little blue shop there? That's the hairdressers, and that's where I'm going. This is the beginning of some trimming. Tim was due at 9 o'clock this morning. However, I got up at 8:30 and I could already hear him here. So I'm just going to close the gates because they're all open. And then I'm going to try and make my way down to say hello to him. Trimming that bit on the top of the barn by the look of things. It's a good start, but I want the bit by the house doing really. Right, away we go into our legal property. Tim was hard at work for about 6 hours on this, so it's been transformed and he's coming back tomorrow. Oop. Wobbly. Right. So he's had a bit of a cut down in here. Enough to be able to now see the gates and things. Marta reckons that they would have come in here. In a car. Sideways. And that's just fallen down over the years. I think. Yeah. So she thinks this wall will have been in like a driveway going to the side rather than down. Oh, they'll have grown wild, won't they? It doesn't take long for these buggers to grow. Weeds. Big weeds, that's all they are. There's loads of tiles and stuff as well, by the way. So look, we've got a path now. We're not actually dying trying to walk through it, so that's good. Let me save my timings. And I know I couldn't get in upstairs before, so this is upstairs, which is where you see where the work needs doing. So obviously I think there must be a leak somewhere for the wallpaper to be coming off like that. But this is the bedroom. It alarms me what people leave in the houses, like that frightening gonk on the wall over there. 2 glasses still in their wrappers, no less. And some old glasses and things there. And a sinister Bugs Bunny down there. And then weirdly, like pornography. It's a strange, and whey protein. Some fashion magazines and loads of semi-bare naked ladies everywhere. This absolutely classic phonograph here, and that is coming in my direction. That is going to come home with me. That sewing machine table, I like things like that. More bare naked ladies, all the guys' clothes and other such stuff. Random suitcase on the floor. Anything in there, dare I ask? Yep, more glasses and things in there. Oh, nice. Oh, I'm going to add those to my treasures. And a jigsaw if we get bored. Ladies' handbags. I'm confused. Bulgarian books. And the mobile phone there should give you a clue to the age of the last time someone was in here. Look at that, though. Isn't that gorgeous? And then another sinister doll. Shoes. It's just weird. Stuff over there. And then this room is the same as downstairs. It's clearly never had anything done to it. It's just been completely ignored. And then this will have been another bedroom with I quite like that teapot and that pechka. I'd quite like to see if I can get those restored and the one outside. But yeah, it's just so sad. They just leave everything. Everything just gets abandoned. Anyway, this isn't going to get touched, I don't think. I don't think we'll do anything with this. But it's nice to know we've got it. Extra storage space. She doesn't like it much. Oh, I like my new steps. I have to concrete me some in, babe. Oh,
I'm doing this for Becky. She said she was invested in seeing how we were doing with it. I know, but it's even better today, isn't it? You can actually see your way to everywhere now. Oh, no, no, no. Why do they do this? Why do you do that when you've got all this space? See, it's all neat and tidy now. It's going to be a heck of a bonfire. Oh, we better close that, hadn't we? Oh, now out you come, baby. Ellie, Ellie, I'm shutting this one up. Don't. Ingenious. And then we can't get in this one yet because it's got a padlock on it. But that's the stable. It's got a divider in the middle of it. I don't know if you can see through there or not. Probably not. Summer house now visible. Most of these trees are coming down because they're either dead, dying, or... Oh, that's plum tree though. Dead, dying, or gigantic weeds. And behold how tidy it is in here as well. He's done a really good job. Can't believe he's done all this in 2 days. But he said this bit was obviously like a vegetable garden or something because he just raked it up and it was all coming up. Lovely. Lovely. Is this your new favourite spot? I keep finding you here. There we go.